Well, hello from the Transfer Recruitment and Career Center at Lone Star College-Montgomery. My name is Dr. Juan Lebron, and we're here as part of our Unplugged series. And today, my colleague and I have the pleasure of welcoming the Department of Engineering Technology and Qantas Endowed Professor Dr. Reg Pecen, who we'll allow to introduce himself in just a few minutes. Matthew, you want to highlight the area that you represent at Lone Star College-Montgomery?
Sure. My name is Matthew Sanford. I am Director of Advising and Counseling here at the Montgomery campus.
And Dr. Pecen, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, hello. Thanks for this wonderful opportunity. I appreciate it, Matthew and Dr. Lebron. My name is Reg Pecen. This is my fourth year at Sam Houston State University. My background is electrical engineering, electrical power control systems, and renewable energy. I served 14 years at University of Northern Iowa as a professor of engineering technology over there, and I was also the coordinator of the program, as well as a coordinator of the graduate program, master's and doctoral programs. I also served the State of Iowa Wind Energy Commission to promote wind energy in the state of Iowa, because Iowa is now number energy promotion, and I'm glad to be here today.
Thank you, Dr. Pecen. And I just want to start and dive in. One of the things that we come across as faculty and staff here at Lone Star College-Montgomery is we come across a lot of students that are trying to figure out what pathway they want to get into as it relates to the fields of engineering. And there's always a question of engineering technology and engineering as pathways to follow. How would you describe the differences and similarities between both of those fields?
The similarities is definitely mathematics. Students who love mathematics, they have to go to definitely one of those programs. But if they don't have a good background or, with the math, then definitely I would not recommend that. So they are in complement of each other. Engineers and engineering technologists never compete each other. They are perfect in complement of each other. So pure engineering, I did teach in both programs, both departments in the past. They have basically, superiorities to each other's. I mean, definitely the number one issue is the mathematical theoretical versus hands-on, minds-on portion. So the pure engineering programs require 2 years heavy mathematics and theory, and then starting pretty much the sophomore and junior and senior year, they end up with getting into the probably applications, which still require a lot of simulation and theory. On the other hand, the engineering technologies based on the basic math, still is the math is there, basic physics, but it's not like Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3, just probably the Calc 1 is going to be enough according to ABET accreditations, the criteria for engineering technology programs. So once they have the basic mathematics, they go with mostly lab-based, hands-on, project-based courses, so that once the students graduate from the engineering technology programs, honestly, 99% they are ready to rock and roll. They are ready to be part of the workforce, and they start to working immediately without any serious training. They may need some special trainings, but definitely they know how to pretty much run the production line, troubleshoot service. Those are the skills we may not see in pure engineering students.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Pecen, another question that we have in relation to the Sam Houston State University's engineering department is how is it such an important and high in demand program within our region here in the Houston area?
Definitely close enough. Being close to the Houston is a great opportunity for us. This is a new department. I mean, we used to be under Ag Science. Starting 2017, that this become an independent department. And the major issue was we had the largest individual gift from Fred Perkel. May God bless him. He's a former graduate of this program, and he started to teach in Cy-Fair school systems as a teacher, technology education teacher. And then he started to his wonderful inventions. He became an exemplary inventor. And before he passes away, he left $25 million to the university just directly for the purpose of creating a department, specifically the hands-on education. So from the lab equipment to the new faculty and all other needs, the building, all that his incredible gift produced this lovely Perkel building. I did teach in University of Colorado, Wyoming, University of Northern Iowa. I have never seen such, the rich equipment and the systems that I had the pleasure to teach to the students. So that is one of our probably the greatest strength, having a very strong infrastructure in engineering technology. And now we are getting with our construction program. We just finished that. We are really hoping to get that in the July meeting by the accreditation. And then next is going to be our electronics program and the design, the others. So with that upcoming accreditations, we will be definitely much stronger providing education to our future engineering tech generations in this area.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So when it comes to transfer students, right, and as a community college in the service area, right next to you, right, we have a campus of Sam Houston right next to us. And I know that your engineering technology program is based off of the Huntsville main campus. What qualities, and I know you talked about, the attributes of math and science and having those foundations, but when it comes to what words of wisdom would you give a student that is just trying to decide, right? They think they want to go in the field of engineering because they've heard of the word engineering their whole life. But when it comes to what's trending and what's in hot demand, what would you say your words of wisdom would be for that student as they're trying to figure out what pathway to get into?
Wonderful. I guess the job opportunities. I mean, I just received the day before yesterday a recommendation request from Sandy National Labs for opening at engineering technology. Candidate, that is our former student, just graduated last semester. I mean, it just made my day. I was so happy to write about my student. So job opportunities are incredible. I mean, having one national lab to hire their engineering tech person to do the data acquisition instrumentation from our own graduate, it just made my day. And they're hiring that after I talked to them, they're really impressed. They just wanted to make sure that. So to answer your question, that was a very specific example, maybe job opportunities. I mean, small class size. Our students are like our kids, basically, we have a lot of interaction with them during and after class also. Most of the faculty members here, I mean, talking about myself, definitely, I have open door policy. Unless I have in urgent deadline, I always encourage our students, our department chair, Dr. Yildiz does also, to come over to basically talk. And if I see a student is missing for a couple of weeks, I immediately try to reach that person, find out what can I do, what's going on. This is the chain reaction impact in electronics classes. You don't want to miss that. So I believe the passion to our students and the small class size and the incredible job opportunities. I mean, now I'm hearing after the hopefully pandemic, job opportunities are that they may decide. For sure, during this decision, probably they need to see, how can they make this transition soft. I would love to hear or see, I know you guys, advise the transferred students very well, but I want to make sure that those classes going to be easily transferable to Sam Houston so they don't basically lose any time or any semester. So they will be in ideal 2+2, depends on their schedule. So that will be my definitely key takes for them, to make decision before they come here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's another question for you, Dr. Pecen. We talked about transfer. What can a student here at Lone Star do to be most competitive? Because I know engineering is a very competitive type of field and a competitive program to get into. How can they help themselves at the freshman, sophomore levels to become a competitive applicant and a competitive future employee in the industry?
Absolutely. GPA is, I guess, the easiest criteria. We look at that, that's pretty much tells us about a lot of things about the student quality. But of course, it's not the only one. We love to have the students be active on campus leadership events like, here, for example, there is a Renewable Energy Association and the virtual reality student club. So many student clubs, leadership positions, it's always good to look at it. And their overall grades always great. And then specific projects, in addition to just regular coursework, if they are working on some outreach programs, community outreach and service programs, that's always great to look at those. Other abilities may be involved in some probably, industrial internships even before they come based on their knowledge and skills. That would be also great. I guess those are pretty much the, skills and knowledge I would look at that. Definitely the teamwork, being a team person, as well as having a good GPA, that's going to tell us great. I love to see how they are doing in a basic circuits class or basic pre-calculus classes or algebra. That would be wonderful, basically knowledge to get that before we make some decisions here.
Great.
Dr. Pecen, knowing that there are a lot of underrepresented minorities, and there are recruitment efforts all over to try to diversify the workforce in the STEM fields in particular. Are there any unique recruitment measures or program efforts that Sam Houston Engineering Technology is using or has in place to attract unique student populations?
Absolutely. I mean, we love to recruit as diverse as possible the students. It is one of our, pretty much the strategic strategic point. And we love to have a lot of, the diverse students in definitely in all backgrounds. That will be great. So we have scholarships, some certain scholarships specifically dedicated to the diverse student groups. And so that is a great attraction. Job opportunities, again, it's companies love to hire diverse graduates. So that's going to be that kind of the chain reaction. Once they graduate, they will be also going through probably better job opportunities. So the scholarships are pretty much the direct impact to the recruiting of diverse students. And other than that, I believe admissions office may have some, I'm not aware of that, unfortunately, may have some additional incentives for the diverse student groups.
Thank you.
Example, as many as the female students. Most of the engineering and engineering technologies are the male students, but that's something that we are still working on to increase. I had a solar boat competition team, and before I joined here in Iowa, team leader was a young woman. She was on the national news because we got the 3rd place in the world championship. I mean, it made me great honor that the one female student to be a team leader in a solar power boat competition, that it brought us the 3rd place. That was great. It definitely pays back to get as diversity is, I believe, like the flowers, all different flowers on our table. If you just only one, it's definitely not working. We need to increase, we need to fix our diversity further, definitely. I love to work with the diverse students.
Thank you.
Hey, Dr. Pecen, you had mentioned a minute ago about GPA in relation to transfer and how it's important for students to, focus on getting a high GPA. And I know nationally there is a term called transfer shock that impacts students sometimes when they shift from one institution to another. What is Sam Houston doing in relation to engineering technology to support students with transfer shock? And how is this supported with student life or the rigor of coursework and all of that? Can you highlight some of that?
Yeah, sure. We have first year engineering tech, the programs. We want to make sure that the students during this transfer will not be shocked, when they simply start the Sam Houston classes. Definitely there's a support from our student services, direct support, and faculty support is there also. We would like to monitor starting from the mid-semester grades. If anybody is alarming, we try to reach the student through the student services immediately to fix any problems, so that they will be providing and getting slow orientation and effective orientation to the first semester. So those are some of the programs. And also, again, as I mentioned earlier, being in a small size, right now it's probably the small size, but it's growing every year. But still, for a regular engineering tech students, classrooms, we have maximum 24. We can go more than 24 because each student in the lab, they have the bench, and those are the 24 benches maximum. At normal conditions, again, this is not which is not including the pandemic situation right now. We kind of extended that. So our regular 24 club thing probably. So, but once we start with the normal semester, starting hopefully fall 2021, again, maximum 24, which is not a crowded classroom, and it is really easier to monitor individual students. We are also lucky we have the teaching assistants, TAs, mostly from the senior students. So students love to have a good relation with the seniors. That also simply connect them to the class, increase the pretty much the retention rates a lot positively. So a couple of retention rate measurements, as I mentioned, checking their progress timely before the semester ends, especially after the first 7-8 weeks, and also tutorials, free tutorials from the student services, and open door policy. Those are the one really, if we come up with that very effectively, students end up with getting a very easy and soft, smooth transfer to Sam Houston.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Dr. Pecen, as the engineering technology and engineering department at Sam Houston continue to grow, last time I was on campus, I saw a lot of construction. Of course, the Fred Perkle building is just beautiful. It's gorgeous facility. As your program continues to grow and expand, what's in the oven at Sam Houston Engineering? What are those plans that your department has in the oven that you can share with us as far as expansion and growth within Sam Houston State University and the engineering community?
That's a good question, Dr. Lebron. I guess we've been doing very well. Since 2017 with the new department, we were only in the one building and we were the one additional one. Now we have 2 additional buildings because we have just started a new major, mechanical engineering technology, that was approved by the Texas Higher Education Commission, THECB, last year. And now we already started to accept the students to the program. I saw the last numbers. It's very encouraging. Right now, construction management program is the most crowded and the highest enrollment. I believe, honestly, mechanical engineering technology, MET, is going to catch that one soon based on the upcoming new numbers, very promising. It is a very great area for especially the oil and gas business in Houston area. somebody is graduating with a MET, Bachelor's of Science in MET, ready to rock and roll and serve in the oil and gas companies with all the backgrounds they learn. It's really promising. So again, we got two additional buildings, extensions. They used to be in different departments. They moved Perkel building here. So that really provided us additional lab facilities and the classroom, because we share this 4-story building with the agricultural science colleagues. Sometimes might be challenging in terms of the space, but it's been working very well. But I guess we are so blessed that we are given 2 additional buildings. It really, really helped. I mean, we immediately established over there a virtual reality lab, augmented reality lab, as well as the safety related programs over there, safety management and the construction. Those are the, the areas that growing really fast as well. So they immediately started to use those 2 additional buildings. So that's the building wise. Of course, equipment is also important. We need to, and we are trying to improve our equipment needs so that we can catch to that very fast pace in industrial applications.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Pecen, you had mentioned construction management. It made me think of a student who came in yesterday into our building, and he is pursuing construction management at SAM. So I thought that was kind of interesting to
Nice.
the timing of that. Let me ask you a question about spring transfers. Do you have them, and how does that differ from a fall transfer?
Yeah, we do have the spring semester transfers. One, but the springs are also definitely possible since they are coming with their core courses already taken care of, most probably from you guys or any other Texas community colleges. So it is not a loss to wait for the fall semester. So they immediately place either the Texas core courses or related major courses during that spring semester. So it is definitely, I haven't seen any problem with that, honestly. But as you mentioned, that majority of the students, yes, you're right, start with the fall. Okay. So it is okay for them to catch immediately, especially if somebody has the core background already, because we teach, for example, circuits 1 in fall, and then the circuits 2 immediately in every semester technically, so they can easily catch those appropriate sections in both semesters.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dr. Pecen. As you know, the workforce continues to evolve and change, and industry has been impacted in so many different ways, where there are a lot of professionals that are in industries where all of a sudden they are placed in a position where they want to transition and they want to get into, perhaps they have worked for a particular agency or corporation for many years and they have gained a lot of experience. And now they have decided to continue and complete an engineering education, perhaps an engineering technology specialization. So my question is centered on, if I'm a working professional and I'm working full time during the day, are there opportunities for me through the engineering technology department at SAM to connect with academic options where I can still balance a full-time professional role while also pursuing an engineering education?
Yes. That's the pure engineering, right? Not the engineering technology.
Well, it could be both, because I know there are a lot of prerequisites, right, that students have to complete. Yes. and position themselves. But we come across a lot of employees that are transitioning between companies, or their department has been reduced, and now they're using these opportunities to perhaps strengthen their academic journey. And now they say, okay, now I have time to, I want to finish that engineering degree. I want to pursue that engineering technology degree. Are there opportunities for folks to work during business hours and still go to school as part of your department?
Yes, I mean, we do have definitely some opportunities for those type of students or professionals. In terms of the engineering technology, for example, safety management related majors have a lot of online or distance-based classes. So they can definitely be part of that easily. The chances is going to be easier to finish from the the application or the tools. In terms of the pure engineering, we have 2+2 or 2+3 with the UT Tyler. So students come here for the purpose of pure engineering career in future. They pretty much take the, the calculus-based physics, calculus-based physics 1 and 2, and as well as the Calc 1, Calc 2 courses from the math and physics departments. So they pretty much spend time for strong math and science courses here at Sam Houston, and then they transfer easily to the UT Tyler based on our articulation agreement with them. Those courses, they have both face-to-face and online in both calculus and physics courses. Probably chances are higher. But when it comes to specific major courses, it's been challenged. I mean, we did teach video-based labs during the pandemic. I mean, we are technically still in the pandemic, but I have already started the normal in my classes. I've been teaching face-to-face since spring semester. They gotta have the hands-on. They have to run the motor. They have to do the troubleshooting. They have to do the connections. They have to measure by multimeters, power meter, and also they have to do the data acquisition using some LabVIEW data acquisition tools. So it is okay to do those but honestly, it was not 100% effective. So that's the reason for those type of courses, we gotta have face-to-face and hands-on labs. So we don't have that portion yet. So if somebody wants to complete the program remotely, probably they must have at least probably 2 semesters planned for full-time face-to-face here for the sake of the the lab-based courses, and those are, again, I'm guessing around 10. The others can be easily handled. Texas core courses, some math science courses can be handled. Computer science courses also online. But when it comes to our major core courses, such as electrical power and machinery, production lab, manufacturing applications, and data acquisition instrumentation, so those type of courses really need to be completed in the lab environment and the project environment here. So again, probably not a perfect answer. It's not completely possible as of now, right now.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pecen, I know we're running out of time here. Are there any last words that you may want to say or kind of throw in to help support your program and help people understand what they can get out of transferring to Sam Houston Engineering Technology?
Absolutely. Most of us here from NSF, from local energy companies, USDA, U.S. Department of Agricultural. So students have a great opportunities to work with the faculty as part of some paid grants. So number one, they definitely involve in external grant, national project, government project directly. Their names is going to be on their own resumes. I work in this USDA project to develop a new sensor, for example. So we've been hiring more and more students for faculty grants, and I will encourage students to check those. It's a wonderful opportunity, win-win. For example, I had the MRRT, stands for basically Mobile Renewable Response Trailer. So we design and build a trailer with the super duper capacitor banks and power storage, the photovoltaic panels completely covered, as well as the wind turbine. So the whole trailer is ready. It took about a year. So we can take it to the disaster areas. I mean, God forsakes, once the disaster happens, we can take it over there. We have about 90 hours uninterruptible power supply for medical applications, the medicine to be cooled, and medical equipment, or lighting, or phone charging, or students and faculty colleagues that we work together, and we pay the students good amount of the money. They worked whole summer in that project. We're just proud of that. Right now, we also have another 2 grants going on, my colleagues, and we have about 5 students working in that. Few of them are transfer students in the past, actually, from community colleges. It is great opportunity for them to involve some on-campus grant projects with the faculty. So that's
good stuff.
Yes. And other than that, I will definitely encourage students to consider the transfer opportunities. I mean, 2+2 is a great, wonderful opportunity. We accept up to, I believe, 66 credits, right? Like the block transfer. So it is going to be great. My own son completed associate degree at Lone Star in finance and transferred to UH. Now he's working in AT&T and is so happy. Initially he was not accepted at Lone Star because to UH because he was really continuously getting nervous in the ACT scores. But once he has wonderful Lone Star degree, he just block transfer. Same thing for here. I will definitely encourage students. Honestly speaking, at the end of the day, they're gonna have the better chance of placement in the companies because they have stronger hands-on skills. With the background of, the electronics 2-year degrees, they said working in the U.S. nuclear submarines, they came back, sir, I need to get my bachelor's degree because I see how my other colleagues are growing up, better salary, better positions. I want to have the same thing. I mean, I have seen many of these examples the last 20 years of my teaching here in the U.S. So I will definitely encourage students to continue their bachelor's degree opportunities, whether Sam Houston or UH or A&M, whichever they love it. I mean, I'm not just kind of picking them up, but I will definitely encourage them to consider 4-year degree opportunities.
Well, Dr. Pecen, thank you so much for connecting with us. And at this time, I would like to invite all students, community members, faculty, and staff to follow us on the Unplugged series for the Track Center. Stay connected with us. As you can see, Sam Houston State University and their engineering technology department is poised to provide even more programming opportunities and resources. So if you're interested in engineering and engineering technology, definitely follow us in the Track Center and get connected with the Sam Houston State University's Engineering Technology Department. Thank you, and until next time, catch us at the Unplugged series with the Track Center. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Dr. Lebra.
Absolutely.